A frantic search for a missing Texas teen has come to an end. The connection to Oklahoma and why police were worried for her safety. Plus, no more masks on public transportation. A federal judge hands down a ruling. And it's Green Week on campus. Learn how you can get involved. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Zaria Oates.
And I'm Tyler DeLuca. We begin tonight with breaking news. A Texas teenager who was reported missing has been found.
OU Nightly's Cameron Joyner is live in the newsroom with the latest. Cameron.
Zaria, today Oklahoma City police were able to locate a missing Texas teen. Natalie Kramer disappeared from a Dallas Mavericks game a little more than a week ago and was found safe this afternoon. Here's a look at the people OKC police arrested in connection with the case over the weekend. Karen Gonzalez, Sarah Hayes, and Kenneth Nelson were all arrested on complaints of human trafficking and connections to Kramer's disappearance. We talked to the Oklahoma City Police Department, and they said while details of the arrest are not being made public yet, the teenager in this case is now safe. Officers say they believe Natalie Kramer is a victim of sex trafficking. She was last seen in Dallas on Friday, April 8th, and detectives believed she was brought to Oklahoma City. Investigators say video surveillance at the American Airlines Center shows her leaving the area with an unknown man.
Once that happens, once we know who someone is, we realize we've got a victim out there, we always want to do anything we can to recover that victim.
We've asked Oklahoma City Police for additional information in the case. We'll bring the latest just as soon as we get it. In the newsroom, Cameron Joyner, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Cameron. A barrage of Russian missiles hit Lviv near NATO territory where thousands of families thought they'd escaped the worst of the war. CNN's Mike Valerio has the latest as civilians make the horrific choice to fight or flee. You might not need a mask the next time you board a plane. Kenzie Iserman has details on that story and the rest of today's national headlines. She's in the News Center. Kenzie?
Thanks, Tyler. A U.S. district judge in Florida has struck down the White House's mask mandate for airplanes and other public transportation. The policy required passengers on airplanes, trains, and other public transportation to wear a face covering. Today, the federal judge ruled the mandate unlawful and exceeded the authority of the U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention. The Department of Justice has not said if they will try to appeal the ruling. The Drug Enforcement Administration is warning of a new trend of mass overdoses caused by fentanyl. According to the DEA Administrator Ann Milgram, 7 U.S. cities have experienced mass overdose events within the last 2 months. The DEA blames an alarming trend on drug dealers mixing synthetic opioid fentanyl into other narcotics. Over the past year, overdose deaths rose in 47 states with the exception of only Wyoming, Hawaii, and New Hampshire. And natural gas prices have risen to their highest since 2008. Natural gas futures spiked 9% in recent trading and 16% just last week. This leaves the natural gas up by 113% since the end of last year. That spike comes just in time for a rare April snowstorm that's about to hit the Northeast. The snowstorm will force millions of families to crank up their heaters and end up increasing the demand for natural gas. And today is the last day to file federal income taxes. Easter Monday is not a federal holiday, so it's important to have your return postmarked before tonight. Zaria, Tyler, back to you.
Thanks, Kenzie. A manhunt is underway right now for multiple suspected shooters who killed 2 teens and injured several others at a Pittsburgh house party. It's just one in a wave of gun violence incidents that spoiled the holiday weekend for many across the country. OU Nightly's Jessie Klinger has the story. Jessie?
Yes, 2 teenagers have been killed over the weekend, and many more were injured and wounded as 4 shootings occurred in Pittsburgh, South Carolina, and Boston. Easter weekend turned into a weekend of mourning for the families of 2 teens who were killed in a mass shooting in Pittsburgh early Sunday morning. The shooters fired more than 90 rounds on a party at an Airbnb, leaving 8 others wounded and many more injured from jumping out of windows trying to escape.
Police say around 200 people were at the party, most of them underage.
It's heartbreaking. I mean, here we are at Easter, and we have multiple families, two that won't see a loved one.
The search for suspects is underway as the investigation continues. And in Columbia, South Carolina, one man was arrested after a mass shooting at a mall on Saturday. The shooting left 14 people injured, at least 9 suffered gunshot wounds, and 5 others hurt while attempting to leave the scene.
We didn't know who was shooting, what direction it was coming from. And it was really terrifying.
22-year-old Joanne Price is charged with an unlawful carrying of a pistol and has been released on house arrest. And about 100 miles south of Columbia in Hampton County, South Carolina, police say 9 people were shot early Sunday morning at a lounge. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division is leading the investigation. And in Boston, police said 2 people were shot in the city's Chinatown neighborhood, and 3 suspects are in custody.
Both of these males were transported to local area hospitals, and both are currently listed in critical condition with life-threatening injuries.
Boston police say what led to the shooting is still unclear, but the investigation is ongoing.
While the Oklahoma City area did not see a mass shooting over the holiday weekend, another fatality has been added to the metro area's recent string of homicides as a man was shot and killed Friday night in South Oklahoma City, and last night a man was shot and rushed to the hospital. Reporting live, Jessie Klinger, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Jessie. We do want to note there were no shootings in the Norman area over the weekend.
But the weather did cooperate for Easter, and it may get warmer this week. OU Nightly's Robby Frost has a first look at our forecast. Robby?
Yeah, Easter really did turn out pretty good. I was a little bit worried because we had that overcast for the morning hours and a little bit of mist coming down. But it cleared out, and we still have clear skies across Oklahoma City today. Just a really nice looking spring day across really all of the state right now. Mid-60s for pretty much the entire metro right now, but it is a little bit below average to what we're used to seeing this time of year. And this north wind coming from the northeast, it's around 10, 15 miles per hour. That's making it feel a little bit cooler, than what we're used to. We've been having, temperatures in the mid, even upper 80s the last few days. So definitely a little bit cooler, but still just some nice spring weather that we've got going on right now. But we will be warming up pretty soon coming in the next few days. And we also need to talk about fire weather and even a bit of a severe pattern. So I'll have more details coming up in Maine weather. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Robby. Governor Stitt unveiled a new economic expansion plan in Oklahoma today. We'll have the latest on the governor's development plans up next.
Plus, young African-American aspiring healthcare workers are gaining mentorship and scholarships through a student organization at OU. Straight ahead on OU Nightly. In Governor Stitt's press conference today, he announced a potential economic development for the state. Libbey Dean has the location of the possible expansion and more from Capitol Report. Libbey.
Well, Zaria, in a press conference today, Governor Kevin Stitt announced a major economic development that would benefit Oklahomans in the Tulsa area. The proposal would require support from lawmakers in increasing taxes on the multi-billion-dollar development. If passed, Oklahoma would partner with an unnamed company Stitt described as a huge Fortune 500 company with a global presence.
And so I'm asking for the legislature to do some special, what we call mega legislation for not only this new company, but also future ones that are going to look to Oklahoma to expand.
The company's expansion would bring a new factory and thousands of jobs to Oklahomans. Stitt plans to have this passed before the end of the week. Several education bills are moving through the legislature this week. One bill proposed would eliminate one of the testing requirements for Oklahoma teachers. Anyone seeking a teacher certification in Oklahoma is currently required to pay for and pass the Oklahoma General Education Test.
Knowledge assessment, and all of our students are taking the ACT, SAT, like we were talking about, and so they see that as if we can take one thing off their plate, this is something we can do.
Now, if this bill becomes law, people with a bachelor's degree would not have to take the test, providing one less financial roadblock for aspiring teachers. Zaria, Tyler, that's all for this week's Capitol Report. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Libbey. A student organization on campus is celebrating future healthcare workers and professionals. Black Girl White Coat provides guidance, representation, mentorship, and scholarship for aspiring healthcare students who identify as African American. Through events on and off campus like field trips, dinners, and writing thank you letters to healthcare workers. The group hopes to encourage positive mental health habits and relieve stress due to the high academic demands of the world of STEM. Black Girl White Coat Week starts and ends Saturday.
And there's an annual celebration that involves the whole world. Earth Day is later this week, but at OU, the entire week is Green Week. Hear how you can get involved coming up next.
And will the weather cooperate as folks plan those festivities? Robby Frost has a look.
Yeah, we're seeing the return of some warmer temperatures just like we've got going on today. But up later this week, we may be looking out for some severe weather, so I'll have more details up next. Welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Robby Frost, and we just have a beautiful afternoon going on across Oklahoma City today. Lots of green coming in with all the spring temperatures and weather that we've been having. 64 degrees in Oklahoma City right now, and this north wind is making it feel a little bit chillier than what we're used to, but it's not too bad right now. We do have another cool off tonight with lows in the mid 40s and even lower 40s up in northern Oklahoma and down in the 30s up in northeastern Oklahoma. But tomorrow we will start warming up, thankfully. You see our normal this time of year is around 72, 81 up in Guyman. And in the metro, we have upper 60s and around 70 degrees, really for most of the state. So just a beautiful day ahead tomorrow. But we do need to look out for some rain. You see going into the earlier hours tomorrow in the afternoon, we've got some showers developing out in the Texas Panhandle. This is at around noon. And this will start pushing east into the state and through the afternoon and into the evening hours. And around 10:30, 11 o'clock, this is when we'll start seeing some showers impacting the metro before this starts to push out to the eastern part of the state, mostly clearing up for your morning commute tomorrow. So, some much needed rain for parts of southwestern Oklahoma. Behind this, though, we do have a storm threat Wednesday, and what we're looking at here is the energy for storms across the state. And you can see this starts to build in Wednesday, and behind that, we have some dry conditions up in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles, so a little bit of fire weather to look out for out there. But around the mid-afternoon time, we've got a chance for some storms across central Oklahoma, but it is a pretty conditional threat, so we may either see some strong storms or we won't see any at all. So it's a little bit difficult to forecast, but we'll have more details. And right now, the Storm Prediction Center just has a level 1 out of 5 marginal risk for that because of the uncertainty. And so, like I said, Tuesday, it's going to be a bit of a warm-up, but Wednesday, this is when we really start to warm up, mid-80s for central Oklahoma, and that's when we have that storm threat. And you can see, looking through the rest of the week, Wednesday, we've got that storm threat. Thursday, there is a low chance for some severe weather, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we could be looking at some severe weather on these days too. So we have a very active pattern going for the end of the week into the weekend. So definitely, something to look out for. But you see, we've got south wind for this entire stretch. And so this is going to give us some potential fire weather. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Robby. Well, an annual week-long event on campus starts today, and everyone is welcome to take part in the many activities planned to make OU a little more green. Green Week is a student organization through the Department of Geography and Environmental Sustainability that promotes positive environmental habits. And the week's activities will feature a plant swap, a thrift shop day, sunrise yoga, a movie night, and more, all leading up to the Earth Day Fair on Friday. Events like this help spread the message of lowering our own ecological footprint.
Kind of getting the word out, getting people hearing about sustainability, and it's like an ever-changing topic, so it's important that people are always hearing about it, always hearing okay, what should we be doing? What's the best things that we can be doing? And how do I fit sustainability into my life?
For more information on events this week, check out OU Green Week's Instagram.
And this weekend, women's gymnastics reigned supreme once again as national champions.
OU Nightly's Caleigh Hommel joins us to talk about the Sooners' title comeback.
That's right, the Sooners had an epic comeback for the ages. And the NBA playoffs started this weekend, and it did not disappoint. Stay tuned because sports is next. Hi, welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Caleigh Hommel, and it's time for sports. The big news this week is OU women's gymnastics taking home the NCAA championship. The Sooners started in 4th place after finishing last in floor, but quickly bounced to the lead after bars. Reagan Smith scored a 9.9625 on beam, sealing the win for Oklahoma in the last rotation. The win marks Oklahoma's 5th national title in program history. Here is what Reagan Smith said on how she stayed focused.
You know, I just kind of gave my all. Like, before I went, I was just like, I have nothing to lose. I just got to go up there and do me, and that's what I did. So I'm proud of myself and my whole team. I'm so excited. I was like, nothing phases me. Like, I'm me, and no one else can be me. So, I just did it.
And the championship wins don't end there. For the first time in history, OU women's tennis is the Big 12 champion. Number 2 Oklahoma faced number 12 Oklahoma State on the road and came out on top 4-3. The Sooners finished their regular season undefeated after defeating number 5 Pepperdine on Sunday 4-2. Oklahoma men's gymnastics is the national runner-up after posting their 2nd highest score of the year. OU jumped to 2nd place after securing their highest high bar score of the season. 8 Sooners earned 15 All-American honors, the most for the program since 2017. Top-ranked OU golf earned 1st place by 5 strokes in the Thunderbird Collegiate. The Sooners tied the school record with their 5th win of the regular season. Oklahoma's Chris Gotterup finished as number 4 overall after shooting 11 under par. Number 1 Oklahoma softball took the Red River Series, but only after ending their undefeated season. The Sooners defeated the Longhorns in the first 2 matchups, but their offense fell short in the 3rd. Sooner magic was not enough for OU to come back from Texas's 4-0 lead in the 6th. The upset marks OU's first loss in 40 games. Next up, Oklahoma battles North Texas on Wednesday. The NBA playoffs got underway this weekend, and it was a wild one. They got started on Saturday with the Jazz taking down the Luka-less Mavs in Dallas 99-93. Then the upset of the weekend with the Timberwolves taking down the 2-seeded Grizzlies. And the Warriors and 76ers both got home wins to start out. Then on Sunday, all the higher seeds took home a win, including the 1-seeded Suns and Heat easily taking down their opponent, and the defending champs starting off winners as well. But the headliner of the weekend has to be the Nets-Celtics game. The Nets missed a game-stealing shot with under 15 seconds remaining, giving the Celtics an opportunity to down one. Then this happened. The Celtics were rushing to get a shot off smart pump faked, got 2 nets in the air, drove, and the ball movement led to this Jason Tatum game winner with no time left, and the Celtics win 115-114. That was an incredible way to start a series that will have a lot of people's eyes. That's all we have for today, but if you want more Sooner coverage, be sure to tune into Sooner Sports Pad tonight at 7:30 on Bally Sports Oklahoma. Tyler and Zaria, back to you.
Thanks, Caleigh. A pretty unique gift exchange happened over the weekend in lieu of Easter baskets.
An exchange takes the way of paying for necessities off of consumers. Straight ahead on OU Nightly.
I'm Carolynn Felling at the OU Nightly Update Desk. Russia has launched a full-scale offense to take control over Ukraine's east. The announcement from Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has Russia invaded the western city of Lviv, along with numerous other targets in an attempt to weaken the country's defenses. That's it for now. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Caroline. Well, over the weekend, Passover and Easter Sunday were celebrated far and wide. One congregation decided to give back to their community at the pump.
Detroit, Michigan pastors spent the weekend providing $6,000 worth of gas to drivers. Alongside some ease in gas prices for consumers, some of the Detroit pastors offered drive-through prayer.
And as summer creeps around the corner, we're starting to see some rising temperatures in the near future. OU Nightly's Robby Frost has one last look at our weather. Robby.
Yeah, Zaria, we've got some warming temperatures, and with that, we're getting into late April, so we need to start, if you haven't already, start thinking about severe weather preparedness. We definitely need to make sure we've got things like weather radios, your cell phone, first aid kit, and also make sure you go and get all the spider webs out of your cellar if you've got one, or your safe room. Definitely time to start thinking about this so you're prepared in case we have severe weather, and we have that chance going later into the week. You can see Wednesday, 86 degrees, and we're saying a 20% chance of storms on this day. We'll have to have more details as we get closer to Wednesday. And then as we look at Thursday, very low chance. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, this is where we've got some severe weather coming through. So definitely something to look out for. Back to the desk.
Thanks, Robby, and thank you for tuning into OU Nightly. We're live every weekday from Gaylord Hall on the campus of the University of Oklahoma.
We'll see you back here tomorrow night live at 4:30. Good night.